It's Sunday morning and I just got up. Still have the Magma t-shirt on from yesterday. But just feel like talking this morning. 15th of June. Cheers. This week is the beginning of birthday week. My younger brother who passed away, his birthday is this week. I think Floyd Norman is, and my nephew Kareem. I have to check with the family on the dates. Cheers, everybody, and congratulations, everyone, for the millions of people worldwide who turned out for the No Kings protest. I participated. I'll explain how. I did not go to one of the large gatherings, and there were a couple here in Omaha. Like I said, I know how to participate. I didn't have to go to that just yet. I did go downtown and actually went downtown and hung out with David Nance. But a couple things about yesterday. First off, I heard from someone who I blocked and deleted again. His complaint seemed familiar. People who don't like what I say, this is not, it's not about, how do I put this? It's not about me censoring opposing points of view. From where I'm coming from and from where you're coming from, it's like you're just you're not raising anything valid or useful. Opposing opinions regarding the destruction of America, won't have time for that bullshit. Things are in hell. We're living in hell in a handbasket. And so this idea that there's an opposing view that needs time in my space, fuck that. We are dealing with a hegemony, oligarchic mindset coming from the Trump administration that is totally destructive and anti-American, anti-human, and downright delusional. So no, this is not a place where you can air your stupidity and your hate. Fuck that shit. And we have got some really stubborn, like boll weevils, just hateful, full of shit people whose minds are closed, like fucking bear traps that have been stepped on. Fuck. Fuck that. So hallelujah for the millions, literally, that made it plain that we do not approve of this clown. We didn't vote for him. He doesn't represent us. He is not making America great again. He is a psychopathic asshole. Fuck him. And deservedly so. The reporting that I have been able to see in the news, and I looked at news feeds about the Trump parade from all over the world because that's a good way to see how it's handled. It was a total disaster, and yet still there are some news outlets, I won't say which ones, who had the gall to, say, outstanding parade, da 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 da, and then you see the actual footage. There was hardly anybody there. Trump looking like he just lost his best friend, like he ever had a friend. Fuck him and all of those racist, horrible, selfish fucking people in office who do not represent the American people. There's no defense of them. So don't come over here with your hate. You are not welcome, even though I love you as a fellow human being. Get the message? Cheers. So the way that I directly participated yesterday was I had another improvisational performance last night at Project, and it was so much fun, and it went so well. And I told Cal, please send me the tape of this. There were 3 different groups that performed. We did not coalesce at the evening. We just had the 3 different groups perform, and that was it. And I went on with Jay Kramer, the instrument maker, and Stacy Barelos, who had just got back the day before from Europe, playing shows in Rome. She just played toy piano last night, which was interesting. The time before she brought a digital keyboard. It went well, and we dedicated our set. We said, this is a No Kings set. It was a small audience, but everyone cheered. We're all on the same page, except for people who have mind rot, or are stupid, or are rich, or think that because of whatever amount of money they have, that they're in Trump's camp. Ain't nobody in Trump's camp. He don't give a fuck about nobody. He's lost in a delusion. I studied psychology, to the point I have enough college credit for probably a master's, if not close. I know what I'm talking about, as opposed to somebody who's just mad and doesn't like what I'm saying. Fuck you idiots. David Matesiak, if you see this cup, I love it. So, while I can show a couple records, because while I was down at Grapefruit hanging out with David, love that guy. And we had a great conversation about politics, because he has a little boy who will be 2 pretty soon. And I said, my heart breaks for what your kid is going to be dealing with when he gets older, because this is not going to be cleared up or better by then. It's just going to be worse. And David just, he shared his angst and his anger, and it's very real, because it's totally destructive to the future of these children. His boy. It was great hanging out with David. I did pick up a couple of records. One, as it turns out, used to belong to the Omaha Introvert. If you happen to see this, I picked this up because I used to have it. Here's a story about the changing of the times from vinyl to CD. So yesterday in the used section down there, I tried to remove the stickers, but I got Small Mercies by Frau Lippo Lippi, the Norwegian band. The deal is, I had this. I had a pristine copy, bought it when it first came out. I love this label, Uniton, out of Norway. Love the label. But because of the time, I bought it when it was released on CD. I hunted it down. I'm not sure what year the CD came out, but I gave my vinyl copy of the record to a friend, because it was that early on where I was like some other people, of a mindset that, well, I'll replace the records with CDs. Duh. I love this album. I love these songs. If you haven't heard them, they were heavily influenced by Joy Division. And it's still, that flavor is still present on this album, their second album. Then they went more pop mainstream after this. Still very high, in my opinion, high quality material. And the singer has a deep, deep voice. Morten Sjoberg. So I was happy to get this, and had a nice conversation with David about it because working in the shop, he put it on and he said, "Whoa, I kind of like that." I picked up another record there. It wasn't essential, and this is an unauthorized version of it. But that's partially why I got it, because some of these early Japanese rock records are so hard to find and so freaking expensive. And this is one that, frankly, I want not so much to listen to because it's a bit cheesy in my opinion. They're chasing American rock on this, but it's Yuya Uchida and the Flowers. Now, there's no reason to censor this. You can't see shit, okay? See her behind. Yuya Uchida was kind of a, if I understand correctly, was a bit of a scene maker in Japan. He was involved in the careers of Flower Traveling Band and the other big one. I'd have to look it up. But when I saw this, it was in the news section. I said, "Yeah, when am I going to see that again?" I can't remember the last time I saw an original, and originals are again expensive. So they start this off, doing stuff like covering Big Brother and the Holding Company, Cream. They do Summertime, which I just cannot stand listening to the song Summertime. Even as a child, when my dad would play the song Summertime, I just fucking hated it. Hate it. So, picked up a couple records. Well, I wonder what's going to transpire before the end of this year. I really can't imagine America surviving 3 more years of this madness. It won't get any better. Something's got to be done to try to clean up Washington. That's what I say, realizing that it's very possible that nothing will be done, and this madness because of greed. Again, those are some of the basic reasons for all this madness. Material greed. It's just going to go on. It's just going to go on. I don't know if I showed this the other day, but pull this out. Smiley Smile and Wild Honey, both on one CD. And Smile was something amazing. It was. I love the Beach Boys. And I watched an interview with Brian Wilson, with Carl Rose is his name, from many years ago. And it was great to hear Brian speak, because the press over the years have painted a distorted picture of Brian Wilson, saying that he's really crazy and has lost his mind, which was never true. And then I found the second part of the Brian Wilson songwriter deal, and you hear it from band members and family. The thing about the Sandbox, it was very typical. It was completely sensible. It made sense why he put it in his living room, to get the feel of the beach, And then he had to get rid of it when the dogs started shitting in it. But Brian Wilson. Also, someone mentioned, so when I said Sgt. Pepper's, that's what I heard. I forget, or read about the Billy Nichols, but then I saw someone else talk, and they said that they heard that the idea was to match Pet Sounds, which I agree, this is more like a Pet Sounds than a Sgt. Pepper. And then I missed London Social Degree is the name of that track, and that's one of my favorites off of there. So that's what I want to share this morning. I hope that there can be some kind of actions taken to realistically try to deal with the absolute um, dumpster fire that we have in Washington D.C. Because we cannot pretend. See, Trump lives in a bubble. We all do, but he lives in a bubble of delusion. Did you see the pictures of him at the parade yesterday, all sullen and because he was faced with reality. Well, there's his big army, but there ain't nobody else there. He's a worthless turd. He's worth. He's a danger. And on top of that, let me finish out because it's like he can't. The information that the world is sending to him is trying to cut through his delusion. The leader of Korea, whatever his name is, he didn't even. I understand he didn't even open the letter. He was invited to the parade. They weren't coming. Didn't come. Not feeding that fool's delusion. Trump, since he got back in office, has literally, every time you turn around, he is throwing the entire country under the bus for his own fragile, fake ego. Fuck him. You must be a terrible person yourself if you're still defending that horrible human being. Ain't nothing you can say to me. I'll see it. I see it. I hear it in your words. We need to move forward, and I'll keep talking about this. I know I talk about music. I talk about it pretty good, and I show some pretty cool records. But this ain't no time to be quiet. So I don't care if you don't like this or not. I don't. It's crucial to get the message out. Okay, we need to love one another, and there is no love coming from Washington D.C. for the common person. Okay, take care, folks.